Peace and love, everybody. This is Mr. Calm Guy, here to support you cultivate more peace in your mind, body, and life. And for my daily messages of today, please direct your mind and mind your circles. So as we already know, an idle mind is a devil's workshop. And normally, under normal circumstances, we have a long list of things we can normally do to get us out our minds from preventing it from ever being restless or idle, right? Normally we have movies. Normally we have restaurants. Normally we can go to the club and socialize, right? And even drink our life away, right? We have all these things that literally allow us to escape our minds. Now, with COVID, a lot of us has been challenged, right? Where all these particular resources are either not available or even worse, you might not even be working, right? Where now you have an increased level of restlessness, right? Because you have nothing to do, right? So the thing is, we now have to take ownership of our own mind, where we are directing our energy where we need it to, and we need to also mind our circles so we're managing our own routines, right? And the thing is, it's complex, right? So for example, right, like if you was to, let's say, lose your job, right, because of COVID, right, maybe things were amazing at first, right? Maybe you got your unemployment, right? Maybe you're making even more money than you did at your job, and then everything's great. You don't no longer have to do your routines you normally would have to do. You no longer have to deal with your annoying boss, right? And things are beautiful. But then after 7 months, after 8 months, before you know it, you're getting a little restless, right? It might not be the financial issue, but it could simply be a mental issue where you have no idea where to put your energy. You have this money coming in and you're getting paid to do nothing, right? But it's like, I want to do something. And that's the key. The key case in point is that our minds are addicted to activity. They are addicted. They always are constantly moving again and again, thought to thought, thought to this, memory to different thoughts. It goes on, right? So the thing is, your mind wants activity to engage in. It loves it. It loves things that are very directed, meaning goal-oriented. It loves things that are immersive, that can fully keep you engaged, right? And it loves things that are repetitive, right? Which gives it a sense of stability, right? Where it's able to make predictions, right? So it loves these things, right? And even if you were at work, right? Maybe even now, after 9 months of being unemployed, you might have started to miss some of the mundane simplicities that work was able to provide. Like, for example, work is goal-oriented. It is task-driven, right? It is immersive, even if you are a cashier, right? It is repetitive, where you're doing the same thing. And each one of these things give you a level of stability in some form, in some way. Now, if we don't have things with us now, right? Either because we lost our jobs or maybe because our general routines, which we normally had, were unavailable, this means we have to build them ourselves. Point, that's what we have to do. We have to build our own routines ourselves because we know our minds loves them, right? And that's the thing. When you look at our mind or observe yourself, you'll see that you're oscillating on many cycles, right? One of the biggest and most popular, of course, are the day-to-day 24-hour cycle, right? From day and night. Now, if we was to really sit down and be mindful and observe ourselves during this 24-hour cycle, we'll see that we ourselves have an entire conglomerate of different routines in which we act out through our entire day, right? And the thing is, the question is, are these kind of system of routines really for us? Right? Sometimes they're made for work. Sometimes they're made for other people, right? And the thing is, sometimes the center of gravity of these routines isn't ourselves, right? And definitely if you lost your job and you really don't have anything to do, you're being challenged now to now find out what can you do to build a routine. Now, the beauty is your mind is fixed in a way where it is craving routines. It is craving to make things automatic. It's the same thing with a car, right? Where basically if you never drove before, it might be a high vigilance situation, even stressful, right? But over a period of time, if you're doing this repetitively and it becomes a routine behavior, it becomes automatic and seamless, right? So the mind naturally has that process of taking any routine, any behavior, and actually putting it in this kind of rotation system in which you're able to follow out that routine. The thing is, we have to program what we want in, right? And of course, some of the easiest things to do are the things we love to do, right? So if you're a smoker, if you're an eater, if you like sex, all these things you probably engage in on a routine basis without even trying, right? So of course, if we want to build routines, definitely the easiest way is to find things we love to do or spark our interest or curiosity, and then plug those in our program, and before you know it, that gear is going to start rolling. But what I'll also recommend is really taking routines and having some space for your routines that can help you cultivate discipline, right? Now, ultimately, discipline on some level is us developing and cultivating resilience to get through times of uncomfortability. Now, that is ultimately one way in which we grow and we expand ourselves, right? So if we ourselves have some routine behavior where we ourselves are getting through times of uncomfortability, it will give us benefit, right? And you can do this with working out, you can do this with reading, you can do this with meditating, you can do this with making a call, a daily call to your loved ones, just letting people know that you love them. This can be hard to do, right? But as you already know, the more we expose ourselves to things, the more we are able to adapt to them and we're able to get through them, right? So that's why definitely if you do have some area where we're developing discipline and we have a routine around it, it may kind of help in different areas in our life as well, right? So definitely cultivating that discipline is key. Now, just like we're talking routines, the same thing goes for having an aim or directing our minds, right? Because if not, our minds are going to go aimlessly without any point. They're going to just move from thought to thought, right? They're going to get highly impulsive. And sometimes, and for some people, they even move in directions that become hazardous for people's mental health, right? So the key is we have to really manage and focus where our energy is. It's just like an untamed horse, right? If you don't tame the horse, it's going to do it all it wants. It's going to eat from the tree whenever it wants. It's going to do it at once, but you have to tame it. And once you tame it and train it, it will then do whatever you need it to do. So the mind is very similar, right? And we have to find a way to actually cultivate and spend time in developing our focus, right? And our focus is everything, right? We can only see what we pay attention to, and we will always remain ignorant of things we ignore, right? And this power of focus, we're not born harnessing it. We have to be very deliberate in cultivating it and being able to take it on as our own power, right? And it's something that we definitely need to do. Now, think about it if you mix them both together. If you're able to have your routines and have your aim. Now, if you're able to build your own routines on your own with your own independence, this means you're able to initiate a sequence of actions that are then repetitive, which consequently would take you in a particular direction, right? And then when you have an aim, you have a direction in which you're directing your energy and directing your routines towards, right? So of course, if we have a particular goal or somewhere we want to be, right? That's beautiful. We now need to direct our energy in that direction. Then we need to initiate a sequence of actions which can take us consequentially in the direction of where our aim is going, right? And this is something that we definitely can do in the fact that we have a lot more space to do so. I would recommend that we take the time to do it, right? Let us not wait for school, work, and all these other things to then focus our energy, to then initiate different routines in our system, right? Why not us do it ourselves? Why wait for a job to take 8 hours of your day for you simply to then be able to be focused for 8 hours? No. Why won't you now decide to take the 8 hours that you might have for free now, right? And why won't you use it and direct it where you want to take it? Those are my thoughts. And I really wish everyone has a beautiful day. Peace and love, Mr. Conga.